Hello and welcome to Talk Motivation with your host Elvis Eckardt, former pro athlete turned business owner, motivating you to achieve personal growth, form new habits, and find happiness in your career and life. Without further ado, let's jump right into today's episode.
Hello everybody, Elvis Eckardt here, your host of Talk Motivation. So glad you joined us on this week's show. I started the podcast when we first went into isolation here in the UK in April and really enjoy bringing episodes to you which give you, well, hopefully some food for thought. Make sure to visit our website www.elvis-eckert.com/podcast where you can subscribe to the show on Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcasts and other sources so you'll never miss a show. While you're at it, if you found value in the show, I'd appreciate a rating on iTunes, or if you'd simply tell a friend about the show, that would be appreciated too. So, what can you expect from episode 12? Well, over the course of the last year, a lot of people have lost belief and more so hope, which is sad and, to be honest, quite tragic really. The belief system of many was shocked by the impact of the pandemic to society. Part of it is that people limit their beliefs because they think growth is impossible, so might as well procrastinate. My message here, this has not to be the norm. So today I want to speak a little bit more about transforming these limited beliefs. Let's jump straight into today's episode. Transforming our limited beliefs is a necessity because they are just assumptions you make about reality. They are generally not true, but only interpretations of past events and experiences. Sour ideas do not help or serve us. Instead, they hinder us, blocking us from reaching our goals. Today, we want to find out how we acquire such self-limiting beliefs, why we are holding on to such beliefs over the years, what we can do to get rid of them, and how we can replace them with new ones. Every belief we have is a conditioned perception that is built upon deep-rooted memories of painful and pleasant experiences. Our views are generally based on how we interpret and emotionalize the incidents in our life. From very early in our childhood, we attach ourselves emotionally to people, to events, to circumstances. We effectively build the foundations of our belief system before the age of 7. Yeah, you heard right. Before the age of 7. It's crazy, isn't it? During those years, we absorb and register everything around us, like a sponge having no filter, no matter what it is. I can already see it in my daughter Francesca. Francesca turns 3 in February. We always try to empower her with positive thoughts. Everything a child consistently hears, sees, and feels molds their view of the world and how they see themselves within it, as well as creating belief systems that then silently influence them throughout life. Believe it or not, but 95% of everything we do is completely subconscious, meaning the majority of our actions and reactions from day to day are done on autopilot and stem from the beliefs that we have acquired in our formative years. It's crazy, right? I suppose what I'm trying to say is that it's important to give children a foundation for success and happiness. None of us are or ever will be perfect, let's face it. However, it is important to be aware of how our actions shape belief systems. By having a deeper understanding, we can give children a foundation for success and happiness and allow them to step into their own brilliance with confidence and, most importantly, self-belief. Experiences in childhood work in a similar way. If a child is repeatedly spoken down to, this becomes their normal. It then creates a belief within them that reflects their experiences, which can manifest itself in lots of different ways later in life. Let me give you an example. Many people teach their children that failure is not an option because we want to instill a winning, can-do attitude. The reality is that having a belief that failure isn't an option results in our subconscious mind doing everything it can to prevent us from failing. The problem here is that failure is a part of success, and we will never reach our brilliance without having to step out of our comfort zone and risk failing. You can maybe see that even though the intention was to create a winning mentality, the reality is that the exact opposite happens. What we need to be teaching our children is that failure is positive, because it is simply a stepping stone or breeding ground, so to speak, to success and an opportunity to learn and grow.
You are listening to Talk Motivation, the podcast where you get your weekly dose of motivation. Now back to your host, Elvis Eckardt.
Coming back now from programming our subconscious before the age of 7 to actually transforming these self-limiting beliefs. It imprints our subconscious, which in turn influences us, shapes our thoughts, categorizes our experiences of reality, and builds limiting beliefs. There is a disfavor in limiting beliefs. We have all these ideas, theories, and explanations about how things are and how they ought to be. Also, we make all these suppositions about life and about other people, all of which facilitate us to make better sense of the world, really. Simply put, we use beliefs as anchors to express our understanding of what is happening around us. In truth, limiting beliefs provide us with peace of mind and help us to reduce any stress, concern, or fear. It is an essential human need that assists us in surviving, avoiding danger, and even getting us out of our comfort zone. But it is important to note that views and beliefs are not facts. Let me say that again. Views and beliefs are not facts. Yet, deeply ingrained beliefs can indeed be mistaken as truths. These ideas are often nothing more than assumptions you draw based on your early experiences. Back then, these limiting beliefs did serve us. And that is why we still hold on to them today. An unknown quote says that the second you limit yourself is the second you fail. And I truly believe that. Alongside the disfavor I just explained in limiting beliefs is a trap about opinions. In adulthood, some principles may no longer serve a purpose for us. In fact, these limiting beliefs are actually becoming a burden. They are no longer compatible with our current life or conditions. Our whole existence is different. We may be married, have a couple of children, have a house, the bills pile up. However, our beliefs remain unbroken, which is why we are feeling stuck in the present situation. Therefore, we create our own reality through the use of limiting beliefs. That's the opinion trap right there. It traps us within a world based on our perception rather than the actual facts. Over time, due to repetitive circumstances, what we believe is fixed into our subconscious, which then proves their validity. So, through our life, we accumulate ideas, data, facts, support, and references that form our view of reality. We even fabricate new theories through our imagination. The knowledge we gain, our personal experiences, and the influence of other people. Eventually, some of these opinions are supported by more conviction and emotional intensity. It gets problematic when these limiting beliefs become convictions. Through the process of repetitive thoughts and acting out these things in real life, our ideas eventually turn into beliefs. With time, however, these limiting beliefs grow stronger, more robust, and stable. They then harden as you add more and more references. Ultimately, beliefs become so deeply fixed and rooted in our subconscious that it becomes an automatic routine. And it happens in spite of overwhelming facts that prove otherwise. And that is essentially when our belief turns into a strong conviction. Yet, when true information is lacking, some people turn to faith. It purely is a limiting acceptance of something that has uncertain and insufficient real references to support it. In some cases, to have faith is essential, don't get me wrong, but not if we only desperately want to believe in something. Elie Wiesel said that a belief is not an idea held by the mind. It is an idea that holds the mind. So now we understand that some of these beliefs are linked to childhood experiences and no longer serve your greater good. Other limiting beliefs are based on false knowledge or suppositions. And besides, our brain has a tendency to distort past incidents and protect us from any pain and truth. Therefore, these views hold such power that they come automatically to us. Everyone has negative recurring thoughts that come up. And when some undesirable feelings come up to the surface, we need to know that we have two systems of thoughts. These two systems are the subconscious mind and the conscious mind. The first one, our subconscious mind, which acts, as I said before, 95% of the time with immediate thoughts and impulses without even us knowing it. It connects with our brain and shows us how to react because we had such similar experiences in the past. But sometimes those are not helpful. They are just limiting beliefs running on automatic, and it sabotages us. It is like our brain saying, it is the path of least resistance. The reason is that our mind is built to provide us with survival instincts. And most of us ignore this until we are in a dangerous situation. The second system is our conscious mind, which performs at only 5% of the time, but that we can use to generate our own new thoughts, desires, beliefs, and behaviors. All successful people know they need to discipline their mind to support them, even when it comes up with an automatic response. They replace their limiting beliefs with fresh thoughts, views, and ideas that are positive and creative. In doing so, it leads them to healthier decisions for their lives. One of the simplest ways to do that is to focus on new thoughts and affirm them over and over and over and over. You get the gist. Too often in our life, we give negative thoughts more attention than necessarily needed. So it is the weight and importance we give our beliefs as well as the time we last on them. And it is all the repetition that seals them in our subconscious mind. Therefore, it becomes an automatic response. We made it so important and thought so much about it that it keeps coming up for us over and over again. The bad part about this is that if we keep focusing on negative things, our mind will automatically conditioned to bring it more often without our control. But the good part is that we can use the same skill set and rule to apply positive thoughts into our own life. We can put all the importance, focus, and time on good stuff until they also become automatic and replace our limiting beliefs. Next thing we know, our brain comes up with new positive thoughts and beliefs. However, our limiting beliefs have the support of false references and a lot of emotional investment behind them. And it creates a barrier to change. But the great news is that we do not have to go back in time to make changes. So here's how it works. Whatever comes easy in your life with no effort shows up because there is a program that allows it, which is already inserted into your subconscious. In contrast, stuff we struggle over in our lives and not getting reflects that we had a bad program. Therefore, we have limiting beliefs rooted deep down and do not support that conscious desire. So we need to modify these programs, so to speak. Let me try and give you a couple of tools to incorporate these new beliefs. The first one is fairly straightforward. Jump on Google and look for brain gym. There are exercises designed to make you connect the right and left hemispheres of your brain and synchronize them. And they are, of course, designed to shift our limiting beliefs in an easier way with the help of positive affirmations. The second one is the process of visualization through subliminal messages to help condition any new conviction into our subconscious. Try and spend time daily visualizing and imagining the you that you want. It does take time, so you have to be open-minded. The third tip would be to use affirmations in your life. I affirm every morning and additionally do a 6-phase meditation. Repeating affirmations over and over helps us dissolve limiting beliefs and replace them with empowering ones. Any kind of affirmation will do, depending on your goal, but be as precise as you can. Try to declare them in the present tense, I am or I have. Do it either facing a mirror, looking at yourself, or just do it in bed like myself. Doing it in the mirror is more powerful though. I just choose to do it in bed because, well, I look like Wurzel Gummidge in the morning. There's another one, but that's quite technical. You can use brain gym exercises together with autosuggestion. It involves using hypnosis techniques to suggest new convictions though, so I probably wouldn't suggest that to a beginner. I can't do it myself, to be honest with you. To recap, overcoming our limiting beliefs is not rocket science, but it takes a significant amount of work, reflection, and time. We must also practice constant and regularly. We have to commit ourselves to long-term change until it naturally becomes a part of us. We know that our limiting beliefs got us to where we are today, but they might not get us to where we want to be tomorrow. We have to modify them accordingly. Our views might also change while on that journey towards our goal. But if we do not change them, we will have limits. And with that said, we'll never reach our desires. Roger Ebert famously said, "We are put on this planet only once, and to limit ourselves to the familiar is a crime against our minds." And on this note, I want to finish this week's episode. Thanks for listening to Talk Motivation. If you enjoyed this week's episode, please share the love and let your network know about it. Don't want to miss any episode in the future? Go to iTunes, search for Talk Motivation, and hit that subscribe button. Feel free to also connect with me on LinkedIn, and we can take the conversation there.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Talk Motivation with your host, Elvis Eckardt. To listen to this episode again and to find previous episodes, search Talk Motivation on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or Google Podcasts. Sayonara, muchachos!